Trippie Redd was one of the hottest rappers in the SoundCloud era. He sparked a wild beef with 6ix9ine that helped him get more views, but it allegedly almost cost him his life too. And today, we're breaking down the crazy story about the night his tour bus got shot up. Trippie Redd came up in Canton, Ohio and started his own crew there called 1400. Back in the day, he wasn't taking music seriously, but his older brother Dirty Redd was already going hard in the booth. Even though he wasn't serious about it like his brother, Trippie was always into music and grew up listening to Tupac and Nas because of his mom. But when he was 15, Trippie suffered a loss that would change everything. In 2014, his older brother Dirty Redd was killed in a car accident. It was a brutal tragedy, but it also inspired Trippie to hop in the booth and start going hard with the music. He dropped a couple of tracks that year, but ended up deleting them. Then he moved to Atlanta, and that's when everything started popping off. Trippie linked up with a rapper named Lil Wop, and he helped him get his career off the ground. It didn't take long for Trippie to get his name buzzing. He dropped his debut mixtape in May 2016, and his track Love Scars racked up over 8 million views on YouTube. Around the same time, 6ix9ine was trying to break into the industry. He had already been rapping for a couple of years at that point, but Trippie gave him his first big break when he gave 6ix9ine a feature on the track Pulse 1469. They linked up again for the track Ooh Way, and both songs were running up crazy numbers. It looked like 6ix9ine and Trippie were the perfect pair, but within a couple of months, they went from homies to enemies, and their beef allegedly almost got Trippie killed more than once. Everything started when 6ix9ine was beefing with his old homie Zilla Kami. Zilla and 6ix9ine used to live together and were getting their careers popping at the same time. But after Zilla and some other homies bailed him out of jail, 6ix9ine refused to pay them back, and that's when the drama started. It ain't take long for things to get heated, and Zilla exposed 6ix9ine for groping a minor when he was 18, and 6ix9ine pleaded guilty to the felony of using a child in a sexual performance. When the news broke, Trippie called 6ix9ine a pedo and made it clear that he wasn't rocking with him anymore.
I'm sorry, brother. 1400 don't promote
They started going back and forth on social media. Then 6ix9ine dropped his breakout hit, Gummo, and took shots at Trippie and his homies with the line, "In the hood with them Billy niggas and them Hoover niggas. You run up and they shooting niggas. We ain't hooping, nigga. No KB, you would lose a nigga. Up that Uzi, nigga." When he went to court and testified against his old crew, 6ix9ine admitted that the track was aimed at Trippie and that the KB he mentions was one of Trippie's bodyguards. But the beef went further than just music and social media. 6ix9ine is known as the biggest rat in the rap game today, but back then, he was actually rolling with some real goons. And in late 2017, they caught Trippie at his hotel and put hands on him. Trippie posted a video after it went down, showing off his busted lip and called out 6ix9ine and his homies for jumping him. According to Trippie, he started chasing them down after they sucker punched him. But it's not clear how it actually happened because there's no video of the situation. After Trippie talked about getting jumped, 6ix9ine clapped back on social media and dissed him for snitching on the internet.
You can't just start snitching and say, it was the non-trade. You can't do that, bro. It's not gangster.
But what makes the situation even funnier is that 6ix9ine turned around and snitched on Trippie in court. During his testimony, 6ix9ine said his beef with Trippie started because of jealousy. According to him, he started rocking with the 9 Treys because he wanted protection and street cred, and all he had to do was keep making hits and be the financial support for the gang. But he didn't just flip on them. He also told the judge that Trippie reps a blood set called the 5'9" Brims who have beef with the 9 Treys. Trippie and 6ix9ine have been going back and forth like crazy, and at one point, it looked like they were ready to set up a celebrity boxing match. And after 6ix9ine started telling the court everything, Trippie dropped a video for his track Under Enemy Arms and had a clip of a rainbow-colored rat in it. On top of airing out Trippie for being affiliated with the Bloods, 6ix9ine also gave the full story about the day he ordered the 9 Treys to put hands on him. According to 6ix9ine, Trippie's manager reached out and wanted to squash the beef. What's crazy is that the manager actually dropped the location where Trippie was shooting the music video, even though he knew 6ix9ine was rolling with some official gangsters. Back then, 6ix9ine's manager was a 9 Trey affiliate named Shotty. A lot of people were terrified of Shotty and his homies, and 6ix9ine decided to send them after Trippie instead of squashing the beef. They all rode up to the spot where Trippie was filming the video and waited outside after they spotted his Sprinter van. Eventually, Trippie came out with like 15 people and took off in the van. 6ix9ine and the 9 Treys followed them down the highway for over an hour, then parked outside the hotel where Trippie was staying. Shotty, 6ix9ine's bodyguard Harv, and some other 9 Treys told 6ix9ine to stay in the whip while they ran into the hotel. A few seconds later, they all came running out after Harv punched Trippie in the face and Shotty was screaming, "It's fucking Treyway." 6ix9ine was busy fighting his legal case, but he still made time to send shots at Trippie. In 2020, he claimed he was hooking up with a girl named Alex who used to date Trippie. She called Cap on the story, but they were spotted together a few times and nobody really knows what went down between them. Then 6ix9ine and DaBaby started beefing. She said she don't like him because he turned down a feature, so she sent a shot at 6ix9ine saying that Trippie was the only reason he ever had a career.
Bitch, you would not be shit without Trippie Red. That boy made you. The fuck? You're his fucking child. You're his son.
That's when the situation got even messier, and 6ix9ine claimed that Trippie hooked up with DaBaby while she was still a minor.
But you know Trippie Red fucked that little Danielle Bergoli bitch, right?
DaBaby and Trippie said it was Cap, but then she admitted they kissed while they were both still minors.
We kissed, but it wasn't that serious.
Okay.
And he was 17 at the time.
Alex and DaBaby weren't the only women who got involved with the beef. Back in 2018, Cuban Doll's ex, Tato, allegedly abused her for talking to 6ix9ine. 6ix9ine and Tato started sending shots back and forth over the situation, and while they were on FaceTime, Tato told him, After the video went viral, Tato linked up with Chief Keef and Trippie for the track I Kill People and sent shots at 6ix9ine. After the drama with Alex and DaBaby, things cooled down for a minute. Fans knew they would probably never be cool again, but nobody was expecting what happened next. In September 2021, Trippie was performing in Baltimore for his Trip at Night tour. The show went on without any issues, but the trouble started after he left for the airport. Right after his bus left the venue, a shooter pulled up and started dumping shots. According to reports, 10 members of the concert support crew were on the bus, but it's not clear if Trippie was actually there or not. The gunman sent shots all through the bus, but the only person they ended up hitting was the driver. He had to be rushed to the hospital for treatment, but luckily, he made it out alive. Trippie never spoke about the shooting or who was behind it, but rumors started flying that it was connected to his beef with 6ix9ine. Even though 6ix9ine flipped on the 9 trays and no longer has dudes like Shotty and Harv putting in work for him in the streets, that don't mean he couldn't pay someone else to take Trippie out. There's no evidence to back the story up though, and it turns out there might be an even bigger twist in the case. According to 6ix9ine's ex-bodyguard Harv, the entire beef with Trippie Red was staged for publicity. He claims that they never had any real problems and that 6ix9ine worked with Trippie's manager to set up the staged fight that day when Harv allegedly punched Trippie in the mouth. Harv was convicted of kidnapping and robbing 6ix9ine back in 2018, and he says that was all for publicity too. But even though 6ix9ine is desperate for clout, that doesn't mean the beef between him and Trippie is fake. If they was really homies this whole time, there's no way it would have gone as far as it did. Everything's been quiet for a while, but there's no telling when one of them will say something to spark up the beef again. And if the rumors about Trippie's tour bus are true, then the situation could end up turning deadly.